In Maryland, schools must be notified if a student is arrested for a crime known as a reportable offense if the crime took place off campus. Those crimes include things like homicide, attempted homicide, aggravated assault, carjacking, and more. While information sharing is now required among public schools in Maryland, students learning while incarcerated in a juvenile facility don't fall into that category. During our interview with Department of Juvenile Services Secretary Vincent Schiraldi, why wouldn't DJS just make that information available or share that information proactively instead of waiting for policy changes or something, unfortunate to happen like we saw play out in Howard County?
Right. Well, JSEP's not under me. It's under a board. I'm a member of that board, but I don't control that board. And we have to see what the law allows us to do or doesn't allow us to do.
So,
my name is Kimberly Pogue.
We spoke with the superintendent of the Juvenile Services Education Program, or JSEP. Pogue says when a student is ready to re-enroll in a public school after leaving a DJS incarceration setting, JSEP works with the school to transfer educational records. And when it comes to transferring the students' records, is there the history of the student's criminal record part of that information that gets transferred to the public school when they re-enroll?
No, we only transfer their educational progress while they're with JSEP, again, to ensure that there's no loss of their educational progress in the transfer. We do not currently transfer any criminal history and any of that background when they transfer back to their home school.
Will that be changing given the new policy shift that was announced by the State Board of Education?
There would need to be some, as far as I understand, some statutory changes that would require or treat JSEP as a local educational agency because we're currently not considered one in the statutes.
And so at this point, it would be up to the state lawmakers come January to change that.
Yes, I believe that is currently what would need to happen to allow JSEP to be able to transfer that type of information.
We checked with the State Department of Education asking, does the board believe JSEP should be required to also share the criminal records of students? And is that something the board can change via policy, or does that need to be legislatively adjusted? MSDE says the state superintendent, Dr. Carrie Wright, and the Board of Education believe superintendents should be provided with relevant information. This should include JSEP, and we are actively partnering with the state officials to identify the best way to close the communication gap. MSDE confirming requiring JSEP to share information needs to come from the General Assembly. But JSEP Superintendent Pogue says the information about students' criminal records right now isn't even known to them.
Of course, we know that if they're with us, there has been some sort of activity, but we don't have the details as to why a student has come to JSEP.
Is that something that would be beneficial to the teachers or to the social workers or anybody within JSEP to know that information?
Maybe the social workers. I don't know if it would have anything of any assistance for our teachers, just because, we know that because they're with us, there has been some type of activity.
While the state education department continues to review policies.
No, we're not part of the conversation currently. Again, we're not notified of reportable offenses as students transfer to us. Again, we know that they're with us, and we just want to make sure we have their educational records.
The breakdown in information sharing among public schools statewide sparked Governor Wes Moore to order a top-to-bottom review of DJS. Will the public see the results of that review, and do you have a timeline for the findings?
Well, the thing I think we're going to see is the public will not just see their reviews, they'll see the results. They'll see the fact that we have a department that is going to be better functioning and better support.
Not a clear answer from the governor about the timing of the review or the findings. Any legislative change will have to wait until lawmakers return to Annapolis for session in January.
I'm Mary Bubala. Thank you for watching. Here's another video for you to watch. Also take some time to subscribe to our YouTube channel.